Hey, here I am today. I am here live with Metaphysical Matters, starring only Angela Moore. Kim is having all grades of issues with her stuff, and I'm having all grades of issues with mine. And of course, with the quarantine, we're having a hard time, getting out. She's, not supposed to be going out, and I can't either. So there it is. And we were trying to get together to do a split screen, but I don't think that she's got the same setup as I do. She's going to have to do some updating or something. So anyway, here I am alone, and hopefully she'll be coming along here in a little bit. I was trying to see, too, I don't think, even if she did have the equipment, I don't think that it's working. I just don't, because we did all grades of testing, and it just isn't. So anyway, there she is now. I'm going to try one more time. No, I'll wave at her. So anyway, that's the best I can do. So anyway, maybe she'll shoot some. And hey there, Kim Toth. That's other Kim is on here with us, and original Kim is actually using Ellen's thing. So maybe if you see Ellen commenting on here, you'll know that it's actually original Kim. Alrighty. So anyway. If original Kim were here, she would be saying, okay, what's the energy like this week? And I would say it is hellacious and horrific. It's the only words I could come to my mind. Today I'm giggling, so maybe the energy's better today. But yesterday, Dylan lost his flippin' mind and went on and messaged complete strangers to him, and some were strangers to me, a very awful message. So I had to do a lot of apologizing. Told a bunch of women that, hey, you're hot, or something like that. I mortally, I don't know. I just don't know. He was wild, and that's what happens when you keep people cooped up. They go crazy. And I let him live. It was hard, but I did. And I think, though, that's the way the energy's going to be. It's going to be a little bit hyper, and people are going to be acting out, and there's not a whole lot's going to be done about it, So I think that you got to go with the flow. What are you going to do, It's like the wave of energy that's coming at us. It's coming, and there it is. So you ride that wave, and you do the best you can, and I think that's try to keep your emotions in balance, because what I'm feeling is, too, a lot of people could be like moody, be real sweet one minute and just fly off the handle and be plumb irritable the next, So try to do a gut check and say, I'm just feeling mean. I'm going to go watch TV or I'm going to go take a nap or read a book. Try not to let your emotions get the best of you, because if you do, you're probably going to hurt somebody's feelings. Because that's another thing I'm feeling about the energy right now. People are going to be super duper sensitive. And, when people are sensitive, it's real easy to hurt them even when you don't mean anything by it. Now, it's going to be a good time to be creative. And as some of you know, I've been like in a painting frenzy. That's what I do. I'll get in a painting frenzy and paint left and right. Then I won't paint nothing else for forever. Been painting birds because I like to paint birds. I love birds. And somebody mentioned to me that she has been thinking about birds in general lately, probably because, it's their nesting time and whatnot. And she's saying, Brandy Pritchard, she said she's about to choke her family already. I could come over and help you, Brandy. You come over here and help me choke mine. We could choke each other. But anyway, she said that she felt like the birds are speaking to her right now. And I think sometimes that's what happens. I think that she said, sorry, I was just reading something. Somebody was, other Kim was saying she's wondering, well, now that's interesting. Whoopsie. Sorry, don't get mad at me, people. I don't know what I'm doing here. That's good, Kim. Other Kim, that's very good. I'll get to that in a minute. But what the heck was I talking about? See, this is where I need original Kim, because she tells me what I was talking about. Oh, birds speaking to us. Her. And I feel like, yeah, I think that nature does speak to us sometimes. And when it does, when it gets our attention, I think it means that, we need to, like, maybe spend some time in nature. With the quarantine, we're still allowed to do some walking. And if you can, get to a nature spot. We went up just to the rest area where it's green back there this morning for just a minute, just park, and I took a picture of the mountains, the snow-covered mountains. And it was just very calming to see that green. So I really think that I'm supposed to tell you, basically, to get out there if you can, if you're living in such a place where you can. And if you can't, if you've got any plants, oh my God, I need to water my plant. I just noticed, if you need a reminder, water my plant. Try to spend some time with nature. And maybe the birds speak to you too. Maybe you hear them speak and it just does something. You don't understand it with your brain, but maybe it does something to your spirit. Now, other Kim just asked, what are people of past thinking about all the things that's going on this planet? I can't read their minds, so I don't know specifically, but it's a great question. And I'm feeling that maybe there are those on the other side who are holding us up while we're still going through this in ways that we're not going to understand at our current level. That they may, I actually feel like, and I'm getting this, you might say, that there are people who maybe have passed over just so they can be there on the other side to assist us again in ways that we may not be currently aware of, that they may be opening doors for us to pass through, with those of us who are not going to, I don't want to say survive the virus, but just whose time has come, for whatever reason, who maybe are sent here. I actually had a vision of that. Sorry, this just in. I had a vision, a dream, the other night, and I was seeing like, oh my God, I had this. It was like all these, like a ton of beings. They look like people, but I felt like they were angelic beings, but they didn't look like, what we imagine. They just look like people. But they were like a ton of them, and they were waiting to escort us over. So I think that could be, something that they're doing is helping those of us who are going to go over. And then for those of us who just get a little sick and get over it and we're fine and go on about our business, maybe they're here to help us too. Maybe they'll help us to help others, to keep us safe, or to, just keep us on whatever path that we're supposed to be on, to maybe help with anxiety. I think that there's probably going to be all kinds of things that they're doing, all kinds of things that we're not going to be aware of until we're on the other side. And we're going to maybe be here saying, why don't these beings help us? Where are they? What's going on? Why's nobody helping me? And it's not that they're not helping. It's not that they're not there. We're just not privileged to understand it. And then I think when we get on the other side, it'll be like, oh, now I see. And what I also see is, my God, I have got a beard and mustache growing today. What the heck is going on with my face? Okay, Kate Orr says good time to plant lettuce seeds. I agree. My little boy actually got some green pepper seeds last night to go plant. And I think the hardware store allows you to go in. I need to go get something that broke. And maybe I can make a quick grab for some seeds while I'm in there in dirt. Okay, and let's see now. Somebody, yeah, Lucretia, I do think that they help us on the other side. I think that they leave us signs too, good and bad spirits. Some spirits are common spirits, are not ready to pass over. They're not much more evolved than we are, but even they, I think, are more active right now too. I walked into my bedroom, and I swear the smell of cigarette smoke was god awful. It was nasty. Like you go into a bar. Nobody around here's doing that, nobody. And I feel like this guy that we know passed away, and a heavy drinker. And I don't know if he's a smoker or not, but I associate that smell with him anyway. And he used to be friendly with James, and I can't help but wonder if he was passing through. And then you go into another room maybe, or you might be minding your own business, and you might get a smell of roses or something very sweet and floral, nice. And that is a sign, they say, of angels. And it very well could be that that is what's going on when we get that smell. And then, of course, I've told you how, I think my papa leaves me dimes, and dimes are always thought to be, used to be made of silver, and silver was always thought to be a metal that could go between worlds. Alrighty, somebody, yeah, I've got a green that is the remnant of a tree or something, something. So anyway, no, they won't keep us safe unless they're supposed to keep us safe. Renee Lyons said, will they keep us safe from the nasty people that will rise at this hard time? Yes and no. If it is part of our purpose to remain safe, I think they will make choices, help us to make the choices to keep us in that place. But some people, I think before our soul came here, Renee, we may have said, I am going to choose this lifetime, if God allows, to choose this lifetime to go and do this thing here. I will make a sacrifice so that I can learn about what it is to have life and death at that level. Or I will go down and I will see what it is to have loss. Or I will see what it is to go down and save others. I don't think it's a black and white thing. I think that there are so many purposes to be fulfilled, right? So somebody may have had a purpose. And if that's the case, then those helpers will probably keep us on the path that leads to disaster. God, that sounds awful. Not really disaster. Well, maybe it appears to us like disaster, but is actually part of that soul purpose. Now, while we're in this form, it don't feel that way. It feels like crap and you just want to go run over somebody with your car. But if I ever run over somebody with my car, I swear it is not on purpose. I quit saying that. But anyway, really and truly, sometimes I think what seems like a dreadful thing is part of our soul contract with others, our soul contract with your significant people and the world in general, that you will do certain things to fulfill a soul purpose. But having said that, if it is in fact your sole purpose to experience this and come through just fine, then that's what's going to happen. And yes, they will help you with that. They will keep you safe. In what ways, again, don't know. In the meantime, maybe you came and you didn't have this on your list. Perhaps this was left open. Who knows? Maybe you decided, I'll decide when I get there, Renee Lyons. And maybe you get here and you think, man, this isn't for me. I'm going to change. You don't have to fulfill a contract. You can change it. And maybe if you put out that prayer and that request, who knows? You can try it and see, right? You can put out that energy to see if that in fact puts you on a path that you feel confident about. But life, what are you gonna do? Okay, somebody just asked me something, okay, because I'm out of words. Kim, are you still there? Under the guise of Ellen, somebody asked me something. Thank you, Miss Keever. I really appreciate that. I appreciate all your feedback like that, because I'm just hearing myself talking. I don't know what I'm talking about 90% of the time. Anybody got anything they want to ask? You better ask it now. Okay, I just made everybody's comments go away. Well, I guess, people, I have bored you to tears because nobody's asking anything. Kim, where are you when I need you? So I guess I will just sign off for today, and I will tell you, there was something I did have earlier I was going to mention. Oh, wait, there's some more stuff. Well, thank you. Maybe it was just a delay. Kim, original Kim, other Kim, Toff, thank you. I'm so glad that y'all are finally coming back and asking me stuff. I was worried. Do you think when the ET finally come out, it will cause the world to shut down like this pandemic has? Thank you. That is a great question. Yes, I do. I think that listen, I think that this is a pandemic and they're shutting it down. And it's common sense and good. Okay, having said that, however, I do know in my heart that they are in fact using this experience to see what happens when people get shut down and what goes on and what not. And I absolutely think they will take this information and use it so that when and if ET makes a dramatic appearance, because I think they've already been appearing for years and years, that they will know how to manage us. They will know how to do things. I've even had a vision of this time right now. I thought, if everybody having to be in their little hidey holes, you can roll a flying saucer on the back of a truck down the highway and nobody's going to see it. I think they've probably already done that anyway. But I actually think there's some stuff going on with that right now that maybe they're taking advantage of us all being hidden away of this terrible situation that is real. They're taking advantage of this, maybe to scoot little things on anyway, while we're not looking. Like, look at this over here. We're so busy looking at this over here, we're not seeing what's going on over here that could, in fact, have a whole lot to do with that. Plus, they're going to take all kinds of information to see how to do a biological weapon, how we would cope with that biological weapon, but also maybe how to use that biological weapon. And so there, have that for whatever it's worth, okay? Okay, somebody else ask me something, if you can. Do I have any herbs that I can recommend metaphysically? I don't think I do right off the bat, but I feel like what you want to do is kind of use your own gut, you might say. Now, I've been thinking about rose lately because it helps memory. And I've got a kid that's got a memory issue. Of course, I remember everything's still trappy here. But I've been thinking that rose might help with that. But lavender is something that Miss Kim original Kim was saying. But I forgot, and evidently she's not on here helping me right now. So I think Miss Kim needs to come back and tell us what lavender's for. But, Google it, people. Just Google it. But she was thinking that it was helpful for a lot of things. So I want you to trust your gut, because I feel like, even though it's like, well, this is supposed to help with this and it's supposed to help with that, and I can believe that there's probably a study to back it up somewhere. I don't know. But in the end, final analysis, you might say, you have to go with what speaks to you. You might smell a certain scent and it just makes your body melt in a certain way. Whereas if I smell most aftershave, I really want to hurt somebody. It makes me angry. It actually has that kind of effect. I have bought James a nice aftershave before. Don't come to bed wearing aftershave, and I just want to beat him to death. It's like, why did I buy it for him if I don't want him to use it? But, and actually a lot of perfumes have that same effect, but floral scents, I don't know. It just puts me in an extremely good place most of the time. But anyway, stay in Angela orders seeds online. Well, I have to go out there anyway to get this thing a lot broke. So if I do, just pick it up on the way out. But I feel like that it is a very good time to plant seeds, because it's spring, right? But it's also a very good time to take advantage of this quarantine, maybe, to plant seeds of hope, of love, of good things. Plant that here with the people that you're holed up with. Plant positive images. Plant positive thoughts. Plant seed that you can be proud of. If you beat your kid to death, and I was tempted, that's not a good seed. But if you can plant the seed of let's talk about it, or let's do something together, let's watch a TV show together or whatever, then that's planting. The TV show's nothing, but the memory you make sometimes doing these little things together, that's the way to plant a good seed and bring about a good harvest later. When we talk about this years from now, like we talk about the blizzard of 93, we can talk about the big quarantine of 2020. Okay, Deb, thank you. What big changes do you feel for society after this is over? For example, kids are schooling from home via internet, and that might be something that continues. Actually, Deb Wolf, that is exactly what I was wondering too, because I think that a lot of kids could benefit from that, especially one like mine. But I also think, of course, that I do think there's something to be said for that social aspect, and that you have to work with other people. We don't get to be hermits. We do have to interact with other creatures on this planet, including the human ones. But yeah, I think that this could be teaching us, Deb Wolf, a whole nother way of communicating with others. But it's also helping us to get to know ourselves a little bit better, and maybe not finding out we're not liking ourselves a whole lot, or finding out I didn't know I could do that. So it could bring a whole lot of good too, because you got to experiment and see, what might fill a void, that is now existing because of this. So I think you got to do a lot of trial and error. But yeah, I think that there very well, Deb Wolf, could be some permanent changes to society over time because of this. And that's a little bit worrisome in a way, though, to me, too, because I think that there could be some taking advantage, too. Like, let's take something away from people because we find that they're easier to manage or control, or we found out this or that. So I think a lot of knowledge is going to be learned that can be used for our good, for our betterment. But I also think there are those out there who could take advantage in ways that maybe are not clear yet. But we have to always be, don't be a sheep. You got to be alert as to what kind of things are going on out there. Lynn Pate asked to call on this last, I don't know, time. But I'm guessing, I felt June all along, but it's probably going to be, to be honest, a yearly thing. But I'm hoping maybe peaking May and maybe starting to ebb out June, and maybe getting our life back by August. But I'm hoping maybe get our life back in June. But I'm thinking that it's never going to be the same for real. But right now, I'm feeling like a peak coming up, maybe May or June, peaking and then starting to come back around. That's my hope, but what do I know? Okay, next. Anybody else got anything want to ask me while you got me on here? Somebody asked me something. Dreams. I do think that people may be traveling more in their sleep. I don't know. Maybe, yeah, I do know. This just in. I think that because, hey, Tony, I think because we are being very forced into this situation, things have got to come out in a way that they can't because we're not able to interact like we would, right? So I'm thinking that there's a lot of stuff that may be coming out via our dreams. So I feel like a lot of people have been reporting to me a lot of vivid dreams. Almost like with me, it's almost like I'm watching a movie and I'm not always remembering them either. The thing is, I do think that even if we can't remember them, whatever was given to us during those dreams, it is here when we need it. So I'm thinking that there could be more out-of-body travel, more dreaming, and more just flat-out interacting with other spirits right now. I know that maybe sounds weird, but it is what it is. And Renee, I have no idea what the purpose is of the pandemic for society is, so I'd have to research that. My vibe that I get when I read that makes me kind of feel a little bit like this. But now once I read or know about it, I might not. But my initial feeling was like that. Yeah, when you dream about like your mom's, that's probably again an anxiety dream. But it also makes me think that not only obvious anxiety dream and needing to go out or whatever, it's like you needing to maybe, as I said, maybe a lot of astral travel even going on there. It wouldn't surprise me at all. Okay, next. Anybody else got anything? And Carla says we have to be in dream time to reset our way of thinking and living. That's exactly right. And we do a whole lot of work, I think, out there in that dream time. What do you think of some of the reports some are posting of 3 days of communication outage? That I have not heard of that, but I'm noticing it's getting more and more difficult to stay online and do things. And I just feel like, yeah, I think there could be some testing going on and tweaking going on that, what is this about? Let's just let's just see, like the rats and the mice in the maze. Let's see what they do if we put up this and that and the other. So yeah, I'm gonna be flat out honest with you. I do feel a little bit flat out like a mouse in a maze that's being tested. Um, oh yeah, people are having to order groceries. She's talking about delivered to homes. Yeah, I tell you, it's really good to know that there are delivery services and all, but it's not available to a lot of people too, and it's not being dependable at all, and that's been kind of upsetting. I tell you, this is really speaking to a lot of the fears I've had from since I was little, of not being able to have my needs met properly and whatnot, and going to a store and there's nothing there. I've always worried. I always knew this was going to hit. I just didn't know now and when and how. So it's speaking to a lot of people's fears about that. But thank goodness. But I try to pick up my groceries at Walmart. They don't deliver. They do pick up. And I went to all this trouble this morning of doing all that stuff to get my groceries. And then it says my time to pick up is expired right in the middle of doing it. And you can't even, first it was saying I had to wait 6 days. Now it's saying you get on in the morning and get your time slot. Okay, well I did, and it won't let me reserve another time now. It's like very, 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 very frustrating. And I'm very happy that I live like a tenth of a mile from a grocery store that I can walk to. Because I worry about people needing to walk to get stuff too. Hey Naomi. Anyway, somebody else want to ask me something? Oh, my volume just got very low. Maybe it's because I put my finger over the over the volume. I'm so sorry. I'm an idiot. My hands got tired. Kim's not here with her equipment to get me set up proper. Somebody asked me something. Oh wait, I had to put that back. Yeah, I'm sorry about. I'm so sorry about that. I probably wasn't saying anything very interesting anyway. So let's just chalk it up to me nattering on about nothing. You people probably know a whole lot more about anything than I do. Well, Carla, yeah, we might be head to one world society, and I think that could be an awesome, wonderful thing. Could be an awesome, terrible thing, all depending on how you look at it and who's in charge of what. But you can't take away the voice of the people. It just won't work. History. Look at history. Okay. I do think there is, Kalisa Davis, there's already an uptick of spiritual activity. I think, as I've told y'all before, anytime I think that people are wound up, it's like sets a wave of energy, and anything that's spiritually in your area that's dormant or whatever, it's going to get stirred up too. So I absolutely think it's going to be a lot more activity or stuff going on for people that are sensitive to that. I sure do. Anything else? Anybody want to ask me? That's my cuckoo clock. Another bird. Yeah, people are definitely restless. And I think, again, this restlessness, it transfers to other worlds, other dimensions. Oh, yeah. And, too, speaking of my kid for those of you who might have missed my post, he decided that he would admit that he was actually an alien probe this whole time. And he went into great detail. He even drew pictures of the inside of a spacecraft and told me exactly what these machines did. And he got pretty much into detail, which made me think, I think that there are a lot of people who are not of this world, who are walking around in human form, learning. So they are themselves, in fact, are probes, and have no knowledge that they're probes, but they feel different. They don't feel like what they imagine other people feel like. They have maybe a very weird interest or strong interest in alien worlds, alien beings. They don't feel like they're part of this. And it makes me wonder, because he says he's being abducted nightly in order to get him his information as to what he has learned, right? So maybe, in reality, there are people like that who are learning. This is allergies, don't freak out. that are learning about what it is to be human, so that they can, in fact, report back to the home base. And how about voices waking up at night? Does not surprise me at all. I do not think the big cities are safe, to be honest, Judy, but I think that even if you are there in a big city, you can find your safe place. You can find your safe, your hidey hole, you might say, your niche. I think you just have to be more careful, much more careful. Yeah, and I have been having, well, no, I have not been having lucid dreams. I've just been having more intense dreams. I rarely have a lucid dream, but my dreams have taken on being different in that it seems like I'm more engaged. It's almost like it's a movie. It's almost like I'm watching a movie. I'm not even a character in it. I'm just watching a movie play out. And then it sticks in my head for a pretty good while, very strongly, and then it's gone. And that's new for me. Usually if it sticks in my head, it sticks in my head, or it goes right away. It usually doesn't stick in there and then just go away. And yeah, voices waking up at night. See, when you're half awake, half asleep, that is when you're psychically powerful. So yes, very often you're going to be able to hear something you might not hear when you're wide awake, when you're basically screening things out. So it doesn't surprise me at all for those of you who might be seeing things or hearing things late at night, or when you're half awake, half asleep. That's been happening here. And poor old James woke up, scared me to death, having a nightmare. There's two of them. There's two of them. And then the next night I woke up, they're everywhere. They're everywhere. I'm going to ride one of them. So he's prone to have weird dreams anyway. And it scared me at first. I thought, oh God, he's seeing somebody in this room I can't see. But then when he said he wanted to ride one of them, I don't even know. Tina asks, why is it to hear a doorbell ringing? I'm assuming you mean that you hear it, but it's not actually ringing. I don't know. Maybe that's just your brain's way of saying, hey, there's somebody here. We want to get your attention. Let us in. I think that these things can speak to us in a language we understand, or even a language we invent. And so to you, that might make sense. I'm going to go into a coughing fit now because I said that about it is my allergies. My eyes start to water. Somebody was outside weeding, I think. I could hear it there a minute ago. Oh, I think the economy will recover. Think of, back to 2001. The world changed in for good, right? And I think that, the world is always in a state of change. This is just maybe a speed up time, hitting the, like the game, sorry, you take step, and then you hit a game spot and you get to skip ahead several steps, slide. I think we're hitting a slide where everything kind of speeds up a little bit, but then it'll go back to, back to normal step. And I think the economy will recover, and, those the 95% of us who, live or good at whatever, will get on with our lives. And of course, some lives will never be the same because there will have been so much loss. But you got to look. It's like you got to focus on the light. You can't just focus on the dark. You'll go lose your mind. And then you got to help people if you can, in whatever way that means to you too, because that's what helps you, is to help others. Anytime you get depressed, and it's hard when you're depressed sometimes, but when you can help somebody else, kind of just make yourself do something for somebody, you'll be surprised how most of the time helping someone else will help you. So keep that in mind during all this too. And, if you believe in prayer, pray for these suffering people, suffering ones that go, but also the suffering ones that suffer emotionally from those they've lost. I can't even think about it. It makes me want to boo-hoo. But you got to focus more, I think, on what is positive, what is light, and that is maybe the future. This is going to not last forever. We're going to get our lives back. We are going to be, we're going to be okay. And when you wake up on a pray night, Renee, that's so interesting. You said that, Radiant Lines. I do that. I used to do a lot. I hadn't that much lately, but I felt that the Lord was waking me up in the middle of the night to tell me to pray. You're the only other person that's ever said that to me. But I used to feel the same way. I felt like I was being woke up, talk to me. And I would talk, I would pray. And I still do that now. I still wake up and do that all the time. I talk to my higher power all the time like that. But that's not, I would feel like I was being awakened because I was supposed to do it. And it's very interesting to me to see somebody else having that experience too. Makes me feel better about mine. I can only imagine if you're having to actually go out to work, that it would be causing you anxiety because you don't know who you're going to run into out there. But I honestly think that probably most of you are going to be a lot, actually safer than you think you are if you're just using your common sense. So anyway, I guess I'm getting tired of talking. I've been on here and I don't want to bore you to death. So one last call. If you got anything else you want to ask, you probably know more than I do anyway, like I said. But if you do, let me know. And maybe Kim and I can get something going together next week. If not, I may or may not be on here because I don't know if y'all want to hear all this. I feel like I might be wasting your time. But you can let me know. And I'm going to be leaving in, unless somebody asks me something interesting, 10, 9, 8. That's what I do to Dylan. I do a countdown. He gets enraged. I'm on about 5 in my head. Thank you all for watching. I don't know why you do, but I'm glad you do. And thank you so much for everything. And as I've told you before, I'm going to tell you again, I love yous. And I think, wait, here's something right here. Gabriel said he's not praying anymore because he believes that God fills his prayers with your constant. See, that's just it. If we are not actively praying, the Holy Spirit will pray for you and groans too deep for you to even understand. So yeah, you're right. You're actually in a constant state of prayer when your mind is in the right place. Now look, here's a bunch of things just come up. I don't see any comments and I'll see a bunch. Thank you for thanking me. You're too nice. I love you all. I really do. And thank you for making my life worth it. Okay? Bye, y'all. Now I'm going to try to hang up. I have a hard time making that work.